So welcome to another session of Tech Buddies brought to you by the MPC Foundation. So today we're going to be talking about a program called Google Lens. So Google Lens is a really interesting technically Google Lens isn't a separate app. It's actually built into the Google app, but it's a really interesting feature that is provided by Google there. Google Lens is essentially a tool that Google has that lets you look at the world around you and figure out essentially what you're looking at. So I'll explain more about what that means in just a second there. But effectively, Google Lens will allow you to search for things and to get information on things without actually having to type it in. Essentially, it'll let you take pictures of things around you and use those pictures to figure out what it is that you're searching for. So, like with any of the apps that we've been working on lately, I'll get you guys to install Google from the App Store if you don't already have it. Now, this one, again, it's not Google Lens we're searching for, it's Google itself. The Google Lens feature is built into the Google app. So what you're searching for when you go to the App Store or the Google Play Store is just Google. So again, it'll look like this app here, so the big G. So I'll give everybody a moment to grab that and let me know if you need more time. I know most Android users should already have it installed on their phones. iPhone users might have to get it. Amelia, were you able to find it?
Yeah.
That one, that looks like it. That's right.
Is it called Google Play?
So Google Play is the app store on Android. So in the Google Play Store, just type in Google at the top there. What you're looking for is an icon that looks like this. So you see how it's just the G.
Oh, got it.
Perfect. Has anybody not grabbed it yet? All right, that's a good sign. Okay, so moving on. When you load it up there, again, you're going to be choosing Google, not the Photos app. This one doesn't have the features that we're looking for. So again, click on the Google icon itself there. So when you get into the Google app there, what you're going to see is something that looks a little bit like this. Now, your screen might look slightly different just because the news underneath here will be updated based on when this picture was taken. But what you're going to be looking for is either this icon here in the top right-hand corner in the search bar, or this icon here. So the one that looks like a little square with a circle in it there. Those are the icons to give you access to Google Lens. So Google Lens, again, as I was mentioning, is a tool that Google provides to be able to take pictures of things around you and search for them based on what it's seeing. Effectively, it's using like artificial intelligence to figure out what it is that you're taking a picture of. What's interesting about this and why I really actually like Google Lens is that taking pictures of things around you and understanding what it is that you're seeing is really, really easy for humans to do. You can look around and see something and know almost instantly exactly what it is. Even if it's slightly changed or it looks something a little bit similar to something else, humans have no problem with figuring out what it is that you're looking at. Whereas computers have a really, really hard time trying to figure out what it is that they're actually looking at. You could change one tiny little thing and the computer could be completely thrown off by what it is that you're actually looking at there. So a tool like this uses actually a lot of processing power, and essentially what's happening is you're taking that picture, you're sending it to Google. Google is using a lot of their processing power on the back end and trying to figure out what it is that you've taken a picture of and send you results based on that. So here's an example of what Google Lens is going to look like. And actually, just before I get to this point, everybody can find the icons to access Google Lens. Is anybody having problems with that? So far, so good? Okay, perfect. So here is what's going to pop up when you pull up Google Lens. Now, on the Google Lens, you have a couple of options to essentially use it. Now, this icon here lets you access your photo gallery and use a picture that you had previously taken. If you want to take a picture of something on the fly, like it's something's in front of you right now, then you can actually just point the camera of your phone to whatever it is that you're looking at, and you can use that. Now, when you first access Google Lens, your phone might ask for permission to be able to use your camera. Say yes to this. Essentially, you need to tell your phone that it's okay for Google to actually be able to use your camera. Now, at the bottom, there's a whole bunch of other things that you can do with Google Lens. So you can use it for translation services. You can copy text. So if you see like a billboard or something with text on it, instead of you having to type out the text that you see on the billboard, you can actually use Google Lens to copy the text from the billboard automatically. You can do searches. So again, by taking a picture of something, you can actually search for it with Google. You can do shopping. So if you see like a product out there, maybe a shirt or some sort of other thing that you wanted to buy, you can actually click on the shopping button and it will bring up results that are similar to what you're taking a picture of. So you can try to find that online. Same thing for dining as well. So if you see some sort of food that you really like, you can take a picture of that and it'll bring up results for either recipes or restaurants around you that will cover off on some of the dining things. I know for myself, the dining one is probably my favorite because I eat all the time and I'm always hungry. So this is very useful for me, especially if I see something really tasty. So here is an example of shopping for this thing, or not shopping, but just actually searching for something in front of us. Now, this picture is of a case of Rice Krispies. So when you search or when you put this in front of the Google Lens there and click the little search box or the search magnifying glass at the bottom, what's going to pop up is results that Google thinks are similar to what you're searching for. So you can see on this one here, it's bringing up things that are similar to Rice Krispies. So it knows that you're actually searching for something like Rice Krispies. So you can do this with all manner of different things. In this example, it's a case of Rice Krispies, but you could do it with pretty much anything you wanted. Let's do a test on that right now. So what I'm going to get you to do, using your phone, I'm going to get you to hold it up to the screen and take a picture of these flowers in front of you. And I want you to use Google Lens to search for these flowers.
So I should go to the picture, the camera.
So if you, on Google Lens itself, if you, like when you open up the app, or when you're up in the Google app and you click on the Google Lens icon, it should open up your camera and then you can just point it at the screen and click the search button at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give everybody a couple seconds just to get the
But
picture.
this, is it right?
You'll see in just a second.
Don't take the picture, just facing your flower.
Just hit, yeah. Essentially, what you're doing is you're using your phone to and Google Lens to figure out what the flowers are. So you're searching for these flowers on the screen.
So just pointing my phone to the screen, and then I'll press the search button.
You got it. You might want to move your phone a little bit closer so that it's just catching the flowers and not anything else. Otherwise, it might get confused as to what you're actually searching for.
Tap the shutter button to search. Which is the shutter button? That's the camera thing?
That big circle button at the bottom.
Got it.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
What, Ryan, what I have is, oops,
Oh, where are we?
something like this.
Google Lens. Oh, okay. So yes, that's actually right. And see, so
Okay.
I'm going to the next screen now. So here's what it would have looked like. So on your phone there, you would have seen maybe a little box appear around the subject there. You tap the shutter button to search. So that's that circle button at the bottom. And then this little white box would have popped up underneath it there, probably with the results like hydrangea.
Yes.
You can drag your finger up to get more information on that and to find more results on that too. So essentially what Google is doing is it's taking that picture of those flowers and it's trying to figure out what it is you took a picture of and it's trying to find your results based on that. So did everybody get something kind of similar to that?
Yes.
Yes.
Nobody got roses, right?
No.
Uh,
Ah,
Perfect.
Somebody got your face.
Oh, did you search for my face? Okay. I don't know
I'm
if there'll
just
be many
kidding. No,
results
no,
that
no,
pop
I'm
up for
just
that.
kidding.
so Ryan, I guess the idea is I'm taking a photo of your flower, and then it shows other flowers that's similar to this white flower. Is that the idea?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so sometimes it'll be more specific results. Sometimes it might be a little bit more general. In the case of taking a picture of flowers, it's going to try to figure out what's closest to what that flower looks like. If you were to take a picture of that Rice Krispie square or that Rice Krispies cereal bowl, it's going to probably try to find you Rice Krispie cereals. It'll try to get as specific as possible. But remember, it's not perfect. So it'll try to get you as close to that result as it can.
Okay. Maybe I should take a photo of my wife and see what's some other similarities I can.
Oh no, don't do that. This is the way to get in trouble. I love it.
You
That's
didn't ask him.
fun.
You did not ask him to do it. He's the only one who will get in trouble. Don't
Hey,
worry
hey,
about it.
Dave does is what Dave does. I have no power on that.
That is a fun class.
So speaking of scanning things that are less dangerous, remember earlier Coco was talking about how you could scan things called QR codes. So what a QR code is, if you're not familiar, is it's essentially a very unique barcode that can create links to almost anything. Now, lately, where people have been using QR codes a lot is in restaurants. So you've probably seen a lot of restaurants where you'll go in and they'll either have a menu that you have to use your phone to scan to be able to see the menu, or one of the more recent ones that I've been seeing is related to contact tracing. So you have to put in your information when you go into a restaurant so that they know who was there and who dined at what time. So you'd probably see something like what's in front of you here. So this QR code is effectively a barcode that brings you to the website Straight Talk on the MPC Foundation website. So in order to see this QR code work and in order to access the link, what you're going to do is on Google Lens, you're going to point your camera to the screen. You're going to try to essentially get this giant box here with all these weird lines in there. And what Google Lens is going to do is it's going to pop up with a link. It's going to come up with some information saying, go to this link just underneath the QR code. So if you hold your phone up to the screen right now using Google Lens, see what happens on your screen.
Is it safe to scan all those codes?
So QR codes themselves are just usually links. Now, whether or not you trust the website that you're going to is a different matter. So you can choose not to go to whatever website it's pointing you to. But essentially, scanning the QR code itself is okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like this one will bring you
Brian?
to the MPC Foundation website, but some QR codes will bring you to wherever the creator wanted to send you to. So if you don't trust the creator, I would say don't go to the website.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Brian, I'm still on the flower. How
Oh,
do
are
I
you still on the
change-
flower? Okay. Oh, so if you want to get out of the flower there and back, I'm actually just going to go back one screen just for a second. So,
Oh, okay.
so from here, what you can always do to get out of there. Are you on the one on the right? Is your screen kind of look like that?
Yeah, I got out now.
Oh, you got it? Okay,
Oh,
okay.
I'm still on the, yeah, but no, I cannot. No. For some reason, I didn't see a QR code. Okay, I'm on this.
I just
Yeah,
changed.
how do you get-
I just changed pages back. I'll go to the QR code here. Here's the QR code.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Perfect. Okay.
Got it.
So I'm gonna get you guys to scan this QR code. So
Brian.
essentially, use Google Lens to take a picture of that.
Yeah.
Brian,
Yeah.
I'm on this page.
Oh, sorry. Could you say that again? I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I'm on this page now.
Hang on. I don't actually see your picture. Oh, okay. So
How do you get back to the lens then?
you are. Who's actually talking right now? For some reason, my thing isn't popping up.
I'm Lena.
Oh, Lena. Okay, perfect. Lena, so what you want to do right now, it's going to, like you're on Google Lens right now. I can see your screen. You're pointed up at the roof. So what you'll be doing is turning your camera around so that you're facing the screen.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Perfect. So on the next screen here, what's going to pop up is that QR code is, unfortunately, it doesn't show it in the background here, but imagine between the box here is that QR code that we just saw on the previous page. And I'll go back in a second if you want to try. Underneath the QR code, a little box should pop up once Google Lens figures out what it is that you're actually scanning. In this case, it'll probably say something like MPC fdn.ca/ and then ... for the rest of the website. So if you click on that link here, what it will do is it will open up a web page. In this case, it'll bring you to MPC Foundation's Straight Talk page there. So I'll go back once to get you to scan that QR code again, and I'll get everybody to try doing that. Sue, on your phone, I was just going to say, you can actually switch to the rear facing camera so you don't actually have to, so you can look at the screen. How you would do that, if you
Yeah,
are,
I got it.
you got it? Okay,
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
no problem. Has anybody not been able to scan that QR code? Or is anybody having trouble?
No.
Everybody's okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So again, that's going to bring you to the Straight Talk page there. Now, this is just one example of a QR code. There are many, many different types of QR codes out there, and a lot of them can bring you to websites that are really useful. Again, I was talking earlier about how you could use it for restaurants and whatnot, and a lot of restaurants are starting to do that now so that they don't have to print menus. Almost everybody has a smartphone with them nowadays, so what they figure is that you could just scan the QR code and access their memory, or it's their menu, by scanning it that way. Other ones for contact tracing, other ones to share information. A lot of, or I've even seen business cards where people will put QR codes on business cards and they'll create a website related to either their company or themselves to share with other people. So lots of, are very powerful feature with QR codes.
Ryan, can you see my screen? When I did that, it says open lens instantly from your home screen.
Oh, just ignore that one. We'll just put a little link in there, but yeah, don't worry about that for right now.
Don't worry. Okay, not now. Okay.
All that does is it would just put a little shortcut on your screen to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But you can always access Google Lens by clicking on the Google app. Honestly, it takes 2 clicks to get into Google Lens, so it's not really like it's that onerous.
Right. Thank you.
No problem. So next what I'm going to show you is okay. So next what I'm going to show you is copying text. So what I mean by copying text there is that if you see something that's written in front of you, maybe it's on a billboard, in this case, you see the Rice Krispie cup, and you see the words on that Rice Krispie cup, and you want to copy those down. What you can actually do is you can get Google Lens to copy it for you. So it will take a picture of that text so that you don't have to actually write it down manually. So in order to access this feature, what you would do is on the bottom, there is it's either going to say text or it's going to have a little icon that looks like this on the screen there. So if you click on that and then you hold your phone up to whatever it is that you want to scan. So in this case, the Rice Krispie squares or Kellogg's Rice Krispies, it'll actually copy all the text that's on there. So in a second, I'll give you guys an example of something that we can copy. So what I'm going to get you to do, and I'll show you the same thing with the translation services as well. But what I'll get you to do is using your phone, if you want to go to the text section and hold it up to the screen and click that button there, you'll copy all the text that's currently on the screen there without you having to type any of it. So I'll get you to try that.
It says take a picture of the words to
Yeah.
copy. So which button do we copy, do we press now?
So when you're on the text one there, what you're going to be doing is pressing that big circle button at the bottom. When you're holding your phone up to the screen, press that circle button at the bottom, and then it'll take a picture of the text. I'm just doing it myself.
Tap to select text.
Exactly. And then it will take a picture of all that text. You can do
Right.
some with Google Lens too, which is what is nice is you can take a picture of some of the text, or rather you can take a picture of all of the text, but you only you don't have to select all of it. You can select only some of it if you only want a little bit of it.
So now tap text font in image.
Yeah. So once you've done that, what will end up happening is you will get. I'm just doing it myself. Sorry, one second. So what you'll get is, I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well, but you should get a link that looks a little bit like this, where it'll pop up on the bottom after you've copied all the text there. From here, you can copy text, you can copy to your computer if you have it linked, and you can listen to it. You can actually have Google read it out to you as well, which is kind of nice.
In the camera on Google.
Has everybody been able to do that?
Yeah.
Good on that? Okay. So
Yes, I just got the copy text from anywhere. Then ask me to try it on. What should I do now?
okay, so hold your phone up to so you can see the camera on your phone, right?
Yes.
Okay, so hold it up to the screen and
Hmm.
take a picture of the text that's on the screen right now.
Okay. No, I got the Google Lens and that's what I see here.
So see at the bottom, I'll just hold up mine. See how it says text at the bottom? Oh, copy text. from
Yes, I
anywhere.
can see that. Yes.
Yeah.
It say copy text from anywhere. Then how should I proceed?
I think what needs to happen there is you've gone into.
I can't see the camera.
Yeah.
I can't see the camera.
Let me take a look and see. Okay, so in the top left-hand corner, is there a little back button?
No. In the top, I can see the 3 dots and an arrow on the
Click the arrow on the left.
click on the arrow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did that bring you back to the camera?
Yeah, I can see that. Thank you.
Perfect. No problem. So now see if you're able to copy the text on the screen, Eleanor.
Yes.
Mm.
Take
Yeah, let's give
photo of
everybody-
take a photo of the words to copy, and then we press that one.
That's
And then
right.
Yeah.
you came back and you tap to select text. We already take a photo. So why do we have to tap to select text?
So the reason why you would tap to select text is notice how much text is on the screen here. It could be
Mhm.
smaller amounts too, but say you didn't want everything on the screen. Say you only
Okay.
wanted like a small portion of that. Maybe you just wanted the second paragraph.
Oh,
You
okay,
can tap that second paragraph in order to be able to only get that text to copy.
okay.
Mm.
And then after that, then where, so would this thing be captured in my gallery? What's the picture actually being taken?
A picture is not actually, well, okay, a picture is being taken, but it's not actually being saved. It's only being used while you're using Google Lens.
Okay,
So it won't be saved to your gallery. When you copy
Okay.
the text and then you select, or sorry, when you take a picture of the text using this copy feature here, what you can do is you can copy that text and then in another application, say for instance, you wanted to text that to somebody else, you can copy it and paste it into the text app and send it to somebody else.
mm-hmm,
that might be one option that you could do with this.
Oh, yeah, yes.
So how I copy and send it to someone else?
So what you would do with that one here, so I'm just going to do it, I'll show you on my screen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my iPhone screen so that you can see this. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. So this is what it's going to look like when you take a picture of the text that's on the screen. So right now at the bottom, it says text found in image. Then underneath that, you can either click on the individual text that you want, or at the bottom, you can click on select all. So I've just clicked on select all. What ends up happening is it will pop up like this. So see under underneath the you are screen sharing. See where it says copy text? I think you can see my mouse here. So right here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you click on that copy text, so that text is now copied. If you went into another program, you could then paste that text into whatever program it is that you're using. And it'll actually take all of these words that it copied from the screen there and actually paste it into whatever other program that you're using. Now, this is where selecting text is important, because I took a picture of my entire screen, but notice how it does a good job of figuring out what's text. It also copied MacBook Air, and it copied the numbers on my keyboard, and it copied the fact that I'm sharing in the top right-hand corner. So there's a lot of things on the screen that I might not want to send. It might just be something that something else that I want to send there. So what I can do instead is you can actually select individual words or phrases there. So let's just say I just wanted this particular paragraph. I can actually select that with my finger, and then I can say copy text at the bottom, and only that one paragraph is copied rather than everything else.
Okay, I did the translation.
Oh, hold on a sec, Sue. I'll come back to that one. That's actually the next thing we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Ryan, so
Yeah.
I did paste the copy text, and then it, like they say is copy to clipboard. So where I find the clipboard?
Oh, clipboard. Okay, so what clipboard is clipboard is just the place where everything that gets copied on your phone goes to. So you don't actually ever go to the clipboard. The clipboard is just it's like a background process that your phone has to store things that you've copied. What you're going to do is once you've copied it, so let's just say I was back on this page here, and I'm just going to tap on the QR code at the top here, or not the QR code. I'm going to tap on the search bar at the top. If I was using an Apple device, an iPhone, I could actually just tap again and click paste, and then here's that text that I just had from that previous screen there. So in a chat program, for instance, you can tap on the screen there and click paste, and that text that you had just copied from Google Lens will actually be pasted into the other program there. Clipboard is the way that computers and phones are able to copy text from, or copy anything for that matter, from one program and then use it in another program. Okay, so now that we're done that part there, next thing I want to show you is another feature that is really useful within Google Lens that lets you translate. So again, down at the bottom here, this icon here was for text. The one to the left of that, you can actually translate text, or you can actually translate words on the screen, as well as by copying it and taking a picture of it for future use. So what you can do with this one is you can have text that it recognizes translated into, I don't want to say every image, but most images, or sorry, most languages. To do that, what you would do is click on the translate button, then where it says what language you want to translate into, you can click on that. So like right here, and you can select whatever language that you want. So for instance, so I'm just doing it on my own thing there. So for instance, if you click on that, it will pop up with a thing that either lets you auto-translate, auto-detect language, or you can actually say translate from this language to this language. So you could say translate from English to Chinese simplified or Chinese traditional, for instance. You might have to download it if you want to use it offline, but you can do that and it doesn't take a lot of space on your phone there. But then what'll end up happening is when you've got it set up, so in this case from English to Chinese, on the screen it will actually show you what those words would look like if they were translated into Chinese here. So this is really useful because you can just point your phone at whatever it is that you want to translate, and it will do it for you on the fly. You can also take a picture of it so that you can save it for later as well. Now, one thing that I'll mention there is translation, like you've probably experienced before, isn't always perfect. It tries its best, but there's going to be scenarios where you're trying to translate something and it doesn't come through quite right. The other thing too is Google might not always get the words right, where it might not always think what you're pointing the camera at essentially is the words it's trying to figure out. So what I mean by that is Kellogg's on this picture here. Kellogg's is written in this really weird kind of script type of writing here. It's like a very particular type of font. I think it figured it out, although I can't read Chinese, unfortunately, so I don't know if that actually says Kellogg's here. Like if you're typing or pointing your phone at something that is written maybe a little bit weirdly or scripted or kind of stylized, it might not figure it out perfectly. Whereas letters and words that are written in more traditional letters, like say Rice Krispies, where it's fairly easy to see, it'll do a better job at translating those. So like what we did with the copy text, I'm going to get you to use the translate feature, and I'm going to get you to point it at the screen right now and try to translate this this batch of text here. So why don't you do that? So has everybody been able to translate the words on the screen?
Yeah, I did
Yes.
that, but it's not moving up and down.
What do you mean by not moving up and down?
It's just part of it.
Oh, okay. So like, yeah, it won't let you scroll. Essentially, you're just like taking a picture of whatever's on the camera there. So either you have to move the camera or like you'd have to take multiple photos.
Okay. So whatever you take, that's all you have.
Exactly. Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What to say?
Ryan,
Yeah.
can they translate language? You know, like talking. When you're talking, can you like copy that and translate? You know, like different language.
There's actually an app called Google Translate, which I find really useful. And yes, you can with that one. Google Lens is mostly just translating using your camera.
Oh, okay.
So this one, I don't believe you have that ability, but with Google Translate, you definitely do. I've used it before and it actually works really well.
Okay, thank you.
Ryan,
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have to take the picture first before you press the translate button?
Press the translate button first and then take the picture.
Mhm,
Oh,
I did. Very good.
Did that work, Amelia?
oh,
Works.
So at the bottom, when you click on
Thank
translate,
you.
and then on your screen, actually, I'm going to try doing it myself here. So Chinese simplified. Okay. Oh, I translated from English or Chinese simplified to English, so it didn't do anything to my page. So I'm going to switch it around from English to Chinese simplified. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen again so you can see what pops up on mine. So you can compare that.
that's me.
So you can see on mine, here's what mine looks like when I used it to translate from English to Chinese simplified.
I
So
got it
you
too.
can see it doesn't do, it's not perfect, but it does a pretty good job of translating everything. I think COVID-19 didn't translate.
Yeah.
There's a few
Yeah,
other
I
things that
think
maybe
it did all, translate all of them.
Can you go through it again, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'll try to do, I don't know if I can do this at the same time as I'm sharing my screen, but let me see if I can. Okay, so can you still see can you still see my iPhone screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So right now, I've got the camera up there, so I'm actually just going to turn this off, so that I'm back just on the main screen here. So I'm on the search bar at the bottom. So I'm going to go to translate on the left-hand side, and I'm going to make it so that I'm translating English to Chinese Simplified. By doing that, I'm going to click on English at the top here, and you can select the languages that you want to translate to and from. So say I
I
want to
got that.
translate from Chinese Simplified to English, I can change it around like that. Or if I wanted to go from English to Chinese Simplified, I could do it like that.
When you have thoughts.
Then when you're ready, click on Apply. Now, if you have a big group of text like this, it might find a hard time translating it. So what I sometimes will suggest is make it a little bit smaller. Make the group of text that you want to translate a little bit shorter, just so it can do a better job of actually translating that particular group of text. So right now, notice how I'm still moving my camera. I haven't actually clicked the button at the bottom, so it's trying to translate while I'm moving. But what you might want to do is when you're ready, when you have it in the frame, click the button, the circular button at the bottom, and it'll take a screenshot of that, or it'll take a snapshot of that particular batch of text so that you can move your phone around and still be able to read it there. So does that make sense for everybody?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you. Really good.
Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm going to go back to sharing this part here. Okay, so now again, like before, you also have the ability to copy text that you translate as well. So the next one that I want to show you is related to shopping. Now, earlier we talked about that bowl of Rice Krispies. So say that was your last bowl of Rice Krispies and you're really hungry and you want more Rice Krispies. For whatever reason, you really like Rice Krispies. But you want to order online, or you want to find out where they actually sell these products there. What you can do is you can click on the shopping app at the bottom there, or the shopping option at the bottom there, and use that to take a picture of the bowl of Rice Krispies here. It will then pop up with results from local stores or online stores for where you can buy things that are similar to that. So in this case, you can see the picture of the Rice Krispies was taken, and then there's a link for one at eBay. There's some other links for websites for Rice Krispies as well. So you can use that to help you shop for different things. This isn't so obvious, or this isn't so useful with Rice Krispies where they sell it everywhere and it's really easy to figure out what it is that you're actually buying. But where this might come in handy is, say you saw, I don't know, a shirt. You could take a picture of a shirt and use that to try to find shopping results related to that shirt. So you wanted to find shirts that were similar to that and where to buy them. So that could be where this comes in handy. The last one that I'll show you for this one is related to dining. So dining is kind of like shopping, except it's food related. So what you can do on this one is you can take a picture of food or things that look like food and use that to figure out, where's a restaurant that will sell that, or to get recipes for what it is that you have. The other thing too is you can use it to figure out what type of food you're searching for. So for instance, the picture that was taken here is brisket. So Google has actually figured out that it is brisket, and it will give you a little bit of a definition of what brisket is. It'll then give you other results for where to either buy brisket or recipes for brisket. So lots of different things like that. And you can use it for different types of food as well. This one is a little bit harder for Google because food can look very different depending on who's preparing it and what ingredients you're using and whether you burn it or not, like I do in most cases. So anyways, the results that you get for the dining part may not necessarily always be perfect. I like the other features better than the dining part, but this one also can be useful. Any questions?
Ryan,
Yeah.
I got a question. So if I got a picture on my photo album,
Yep.
and I want to find that Kellogg's All Brand cereal, where
which store they have it. So how can I move this picture into Google Lens to
To use
locate?
it? Good question. So so on here, actually, I'll just go back to the first one there. So when you're on the search page here, so
Mhm.
on the left side of that, see this little icon here that has,
Okay.
yeah, it's a little pig, or it's a little square with mountains in it. If you click on that, it will actually open up your photo album, and
Photo.
then you
Oh,
can
okay.
load in
Yeah.
a picture that you've taken previously. So if you've taken
Okay,
a
that's
picture that's
good.
not in Google Lens, that's how you can get that picture into Google Lens to be able to search for stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. So any other questions that you guys have got?
Ryan, it's Elaine.
Hi, Elaine.
On the iPad, if you click on Google, the lens does not come out. It's only on iPhone or on smartphone. I think on iPad it doesn't work.
That might be the case there. I don't have a copy of the iPad app that I can use to see. It might look like. Hang on, I'm just
There's
gonna,
no lens. You cannot find the lens under the
Yeah.
Google app.
I'm just gonna go back to one of the first pictures here. So I believe this one would be a phone only one, but if you do go to it, you would be looking for something that looks like that, or an icon that looks like that.
Or on the bottom. Okay.
If you don't see it though, the iPad version may not actually have it though. I know
Yeah.
the phone one is definitely has it, either the iPhone or the Android version.
This
but
is
I'm
my
not-
iPad.
Yeah,
This is
I'm not sure
Google.
about
No.
the iPad one.
Couldn't
No,
see it.
Elaine, it's my
Yeah.
iPad doesn't have that either. I think it's only on the phone. I just
Yeah.
try on iPad.
Yeah.
They don't have a lens.
You couldn't see it.
It's only
Yeah.
on iPad, yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's a good
okay.
point. Yeah, so for
It's
something like this,
confirmed.
it'd just be the phone
Yeah.
that you'd be able to use this on.
Thank you.
Which
It's
makes sense,
confirmed.
because the phone is what you're going to have with you most often when you're going to be around things that you need to search for.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. Yeah.
So Ryan,
Yeah.
with the Google Lens, that means we want to see what's on the QR code and so on. We don't really need to download the QR code application because Google Lens will do that for us.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of programs that are out there that can read QR codes. It's not a complicated thing for computers to be able to read QR codes. iPhone actually has it built in so that if you just use the regular camera and you point it at a QR code, it will actually bring up a link that you can go to on that. So with an iPhone, you don't even need to use the Google app to be able to scan QR codes. But if you wanted to, the Google Lens feature is one of so many apps that you can use to scan QR codes. So if you have it already installed, you don't need to go out and get another app just to read QR codes. You can do it in the Google Lens part.
You always press the camera button first or the other function?
I usually always say press the other functions first and then the camera button. That way you're on whatever setting you want to search for. So if you want to translate something first, for instance, click on translate first and then click on the camera button. Once you have it in frame, like whatever it is you want to translate in frame. All right, so next what we're going to be doing is going into breakout rooms with our wonderful volunteers. So we're going to be focusing on a few things. If you have any questions related to settings, downloading apps through the Google Play Store or the App Store, how to use your browser, either Chrome or Safari, how to use YouTube, Gmail, Calgary Garbage Day app, the Calgary Transit app, Google Lens, what we just talked about, or other things there. So really this is a little bit of a free for all of the things that we've talked about so far. So if you've got any questions that have popped up from previous sessions where you're just not quite as familiar as you were when I was teaching it, please feel free to ask it, and our wonderful volunteers can go through it with you.